Welcome, everybody, to episode 8 of Everyday Ethics. I'm very happy to have you all here. I'm very happy to be able to converse with you on a daily basis. Today, I wanted to make it an open question day so that the people in the audience can ask me any questions that they would want to. I will answer virtually any question. I mean, keep it respectful. I don't want to, get crazy. But if you ask me questions, I'll be happy to answer them, have them pertain to the subject of the show, of course, which is ethics, everyday ethics, practical ethics, how we live our lives on a daily basis. I was thinking a few minutes ago about prison. Uh, and the people in prison, by and large, just spend their days watching television or playing video games or dominoes, arguing about sports, that sort of thing. And I just was reminded of a quote here from Leonard Peikoff in Objectivism, the Philosophy of Ayn Rand. And what he says is, a life devoted primarily to recreation is one lived with one's mind on hold, in disconnected snatches, according to the spur of the moment, a game, a trip, a show, a purchase, with no long-range goal and no field for intellectual activity. This amounts to the stagnant, pointless life of a playboy. Mormani, I have to get in touch with you about having you on the Rational Egoist. I've been neglecting it. I'm sorry. I've been super busy. But to address Dr. Peikoff's point, and then I'll get to some of these questions that I'm very interested in answering. Recreation is important when we are recreating ourselves from productive work, from doing things that are going to help us to accrue the values that our lives require. So in prison, when guys are just wasting their time, they're just wasting away, literally wasting their lives. And that's why it's so important to have purpose and work toward that purpose, to be willing to put forth the effort that it takes to achieve that purpose. Let's keep that as the focus. Just we can return back to it, whatever, as we go through these questions. My friend Danny says, is it ethically wrong to tease a friend, let's say about a subject or a person that you can visually see makes them uncomfortable? I would say that is going to depend on whether or not that friend has, in a serious fashion, said, please don't tease me that way. If the friend laughs it off and teases in return, then the assumption would be that this is just part of a playful friendship. But if the friend tells one not to tease, hypothetically, about a friendship that the person may have, or perhaps a crush that person has, then in that case, if the person is explicit and does not want to be teased, then I would say, no, you should not tease. Mr. Deagle says, what is your opinion on the importance of looks in romantic relationships? That is going to depend on, I think, the person, the people involved. Some people's psychological and emotional makeup is not such as to, care about that stuff. Some people, I mean, if you're repulsed physically by a person, then I don't know how you could be in that relationship. I don't think it's vital. I think intelligence, character are far more important, but I don't think it's wise to say, well, looks just don't matter at all. I've been asked, for instance, we used to have these types of discussions in prison. What if you got into a relationship with a girl and that girl gained an excessive amount of weight? Right? What would you do? Would it be right to leave that girl into those circumstances? And, it largely depends on her role in that, because let's think, if she's not concerned about her well-being and her character, and what she, what she values. So yes, weight can be a reflection of character. If this person is indulging themselves and, the person, let's say, has gained 100 pounds since you got into the relationship with her, Well, now you are in a situation where you're in with this girl under different circumstances than you were with her at the beginning, and she's clearly showing that she's not concerned about her own health, about her own well being. She's not concerned about what you find attractive any longer. Now, this presupposes, of course, that you are doing the requisite things to take care of yourself, eating healthy, exercising, maintaining, a good look for her. So I think that it does matter. I think that appearance does matter. I don't think it's the end all and be all. And I think that those things that a person does that reflect on their character, such as not exercising and not eating well, are definitely, definitely important. Jenna Clean says, define excessive. Well, that's going to be, a difficult thing to do. And each person, I think, kind of has to judge that thing. I mean, I know, for instance, if I'm dating a girl and she gains 200 pounds, that's excessive. If she gains 100, that's excessive. If she gains a pound, that's obviously not excessive. 5 pounds, I'd say not excessive. At what point it becomes excessive, I don't know, but I do know that there are some things that are excessive. Deeper with Diego says that he has found that a person's outward appearance can sometimes reflect their inward chaos. This applies to drop dead gorgeous people whose lives are centered around their looks. Well, that's true. I mean, if somebody is spending all their time, for instance, if they're going, putting a lot of effort into looking pretty, or they want to be impressive for other people, if they're obsessed with what other people think about their looks, I think that would be a concern as well, right? Like, I don't, I don't want somebody is so superficial that it's all about appearance and what other people are thinking about them. So in that sense, I happen to agree with Diego. I want to share this from X. Like the looks maxers. I don't even know what a looks maxer is. So I mean, I can surmise, I suppose, what it is, but I don't ultimately know. Mr. Deagle, that's incel terminology from Persephone. Yeah, I don't know. Let me back up a little bit. Danny Suska called me a dick because he did not like the way that I answered his question. But, it's not a bad question to ask about something that I enjoy. And remember that we do have super chats and super stickers, and they are very, very, very appreciated. Rucka Ali used to lecture his viewers on brushing their teeth and combing their hair and looking good. I think brushing your teeth is important. I don't know. Like, I don't know exactly what he means by looking good. I tend to, when I run into somebody that is so obsessed with looks, like there's no, their dress is just perfect and everything. I don't really care for that. Like, I don't, Jonathan Dione pushes wearing smart suits and a tie. LOL. Personal hygiene is very important, as Daniel says. I think you can go too far, and like, I'm not running around wearing suits. I'm just not going to do it. Here's the problem. It's not me. So I'm now trying to be somebody different from who I really am. It just doesn't work. Not that I would never wear a suit, if the situation called for it at a wedding, for instance. But generally speaking, that's just not my jam. But I do have a funny story that I think everybody might enjoy about Jonathan Dayon. He and I were doing a reality, the Daily Objective for the Ayn Rand Center United Kingdom, Rosie Ginsburg's place. And so we're doing this, and I was in a room, and I'm having the conversation. We got the split screen going. We're discussing. He's asking questions. I'm giving answers. And all of a sudden, the landlord was my girlfriend's best friend. So it's not like it's just some landlord renting to strangers, but nevertheless, landlord. The doors were locked. I locked the door because I was taking care of a 4-year-old, and I don't want him to run out, and I don't want people being able to run in. But all of a sudden, I hear this break-in coming from the window. I jumped up. I said, what the it's total chaos. It was just the landlord. I must have given poor Jonathan a heart attack. I'm sure the audience was, thought that was a very chaotic moment. But in retrospect, it was very, very funny. You could probably find it somewhere if you Googled the Daily Objective, Michael Liebowitz and Jonathan Dayon. But some people, they focus on that stuff. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that's not something that is important to me. My friend Danny, he likes to, he's like one of these bar owner types. He likes to look very nice when he goes out, and you know, and that's cool. That's his thing. Robert Nacer says, style, grace, class, manners. It's not about appearance. It's about how you choose to carry yourself, the state of mind you make habitual, how you opt to be in the world. I tend to agree with that. With what Robert says, I normally agree with Robert. Robert's absolutely wonderful. Let me just put that out there for everybody. Robert is the living embodiment to me of what it means to be an objectivist. I just think Robert's wonderful. I think class is important. I think manners are important. Yes. I also think sometimes people could go too far with it. It depends on their own motivation for doing so. Let me see. Uh, Libsent says, I know Yaron, I'm referring to Yaron Brooks, said on many occasions he hates wearing ties, and I'm with him on that. Robert Nacer says, Jonathan has a certain style. It's not a prescription. It's personal. Yaron refuses to wear neckties. I like them when the occasion calls for it. Lots of options. I agree with that a whole heart. Yes, Danny, I like so Danny, we had dinner, three of us last night from the old neighborhood. The old neighborhood's a housing project that we grew up in, and the name of the project is called Westfield Heights. So we get to the restaurant, the Mexican restaurant we're at, and Danny has what got himself a personal sweatshirt that is labeled Westfield Heights. Too cheap though to buy one for his friends, for each of us. So he was the only one that got to have the sweatshirt. It would have been nice. Also, just to what's the protocol? What's the etiquette when you go out to dinner with friends? Do you think that you should just split the thing evenly? Should it be each person pays exactly what they put in? I wonder about these things. I know that my meal last night was $32 and I left a $25 tip. So I'm just saying, Danny could have sprang for a sweatshirt for me because I'm not wealthy. I'm not Rosie Ginsburg. I'm definitely not Mark Pellegrino. Hell, I am not even Danny Suska. But Katie Ellis is helping my wealth grow because she says she appreciates and respects me and enjoys the show. Thank you so much, Katie Ellis. You are very, very kind. I really appreciate that, Hyde. What is my opinion on tipping culture? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I do it. I'm not opposed to it on principle. What I do not like is the new thing now that this didn't exist when I was out in the street. When you go, before I went to prison, I mean. So when I go out to, say, Starbucks, and they give me this thing in front of me that offers me to tip, and then they know whether I'm tipping them or not just for making me a coffee. I don't like that pressure. I started a thing where I just didn't tip them on principle because I said, screw that. If you're going to be begging for tips, you're not going to get them. But then I came around and now I do it, but I'm doing it kind of because I feel the social pressure, and I'm not the person that normally caves to social pressure. So I really, I don't know. I remember in the movie Reservoir Dogs, they had a big debate about tipping. And the guy says that, because they choose to pay them less than minimum wage, that shouldn't put an obligation on him to have to pay more money. And I'm inclined to agree with that. But at the same time, if it's good service, our waitress last night was excellent. She was very pretty, and I think that she knew that and was using that to her advantage to get us three old guys to tip more, which I'm fine with that. I don't have an issue with it. She did tell us that old people are on Facebook. Yeah, super stickers, I think, are a type of tip, and it's not lost on me, about that. I did just think about that. I am not. I'm not going to pay for poor service. I'm not tipping someone. If somebody gives me poor service, they're not getting a tip. I have no problem with that. let me just like, I don't give a shit. You give me bad service, I'm not tipping. If you are very good at your job and you take care of us like the waitress last night, I will tip. But if you're a jerk, and I don't need conversation from you. I don't need you coming over. I don't need you inquiring about my day and continually asking me for stuff. But I do want, good service. Bring the stuff on time. I want it to be hot, that sort of thing. Robert Naser with a great super chat from the great Robert Naser. Um, is it wrong to judge a comedian or other personality morally for character deficits which are a part of their shtick? Wow. Robert, that's a tough question, and I think it is. Oh, God. I'm going to say it depends. And this is not a cop out. What I mean is it indicative of how they conduct themselves in real life? Is it really overboard? Are they joking about things, for instance, that are not appropriate things for humor? For instance, I'll just give an example. I used to joke with a black friend of mine in prison. And I would make black jokes. He would make Jewish jokes. And I don't care about stuff like that, right? If he wants to talk about Jews running the world or Jews being cheap and it's a joke on his part, and I know it's a joke, that doesn't bother me. And similarly, I made jokes with him, but I wouldn't joke with him, for instance, about slavery or about Jim Crow laws or oppression. And I don't think it's appropriate to joke about the Holocaust. So if people are making jokes like that, Robert, then yes, it's appropriate to judge them. But if they are just like I don't know, like when I think of Andrew Dice Clay, I think he's sleazy. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really remember his comedy so much, but so I think it is not wrong to judge a comedian per se, is my answer. It's going to depend on context, on the content of their act, and also I think on their personal behavior. That's ultimately my conclusion. Norm Macdonald, I used to see him on Saturday Night Live. I don't remember him enough to know whether I really like him or not. People think that objectivists are humorless because they won't make fun of important values. Listen, let me just tell you something. Robert Naser, Rozzy Ginsburg, me, Jim Valiant, Mark Pellegrino, Andy Bernstein, we are not afraid to joke. Let me just put that out there. We absolutely will joke, will play. I am a ball breaker extraordinaire. I love breaking balls. If you watch the Capitalist Corner, you know that. If you hang around with me, as Danny Suska does, you know that. So that is not a valid claim that objectivists are not funny. I just saw something. What is my favorite movie? My favorite movie. Wow. Let me just say. Let me say this, right? I think that my favorite movie is, there's a few of them, but I'll give you my three favorite. My three favorite movies are The Godfather, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Judgment at Nuremberg. Judgment at Nuremberg might be the best. It is awesome. 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 Libsen says he's too autistic to understand my jokes, or Michael Malice's jokes. Whose jokes are you too autistic, and why do you say that? And do I know who you are, Libsent? I would like to know that. Michael Malice dares objectivists to make fun of Ayn Rand. Okay, so here's my question. Why in God's name would I make fun of Ayn Rand because Michael Malice wants me to? Right? Why would I do that? Am I a Michael Malice? Like I'm that concerned about what he thinks that I have to make fun of her for him? Because I don't give a damn what Michael Malice thinks ever. There's no reason in hell for me to care about that. So I'm not going to make fun of Ayn Rand or anybody else, by the way, because Michael Malice wants me to. That just seems downright idiotic to me. which is a good reason to make fun of Michael Malice. It is, actually. I got to tell you, like, I'm not a regular listener to Michael Malice's show, but I did watch his debate with Aaron Brook, and I have seen. No, I weren't thinking you were saying it, Mr. Deagle. I understand. I've read his commentary on X. I don't find him to be funny when he tries to be. I don't find him to be insightful. I find his take on we're all in a state of anarchy with each other or some nonsense is just redefining words to fit what he wants them to mean. So I say screw Michael Malice. I don't give a shit. If Ayn Rand did something that I thought was worthy of making fun of, I would do it, as I would do to anybody. Especially if she and I were friends, I certainly would do it. But to cater to Michael Malice, no, I'm not making fun of a single freaking person ever for Michael Malice. Jack Shop read the essay. It wasn't too convincing. I just don't think that our best avenue to argue for capitalism. That is the essay I asked you to read. The Ethics of Emergencies is not a case for capitalism. Let me just say that if that's the essay you read, which I think it was. Robert Naser says, appropriately enough, the problem is with the Malice challenge is that it's malicious. I can speak lightly and humorously of Ayn Rand, just as I can of people I love, but not publicly and certainly not to someone like Malice. Robert Naser for the win. Robert, you are just you're just wonderful. You're the best. I don't know about the best. I can't say you're the best because then other people may get upset. You're up there with the best of them. The book, The Virtue of Selfishness, is about ethics, Jack Shop. It's about, now there are a couple essays in there that do flow into capitalism because Ayn Rand's case for capitalism flows from her ethics, but primarily it's a book about ethics. So the ethics of emergencies is just about what we should do in emergencies, and does the context change in emergencies. Oh, English is your second language. No, it's okay. It's all right. If you misspell, what the hell do I care? If you misunderstood, you misunderstood. That's okay too. I mean, people understand. Just you continue to study, you continue to grow. That's what we're here for. It's funny because I think people in general, like a lot of people, beat themselves up too much. Not that you do this, Jack Shop, just people when they don't understand something upon first reading, or someone will say, "Oh, when I have to read, it's so hard because I have to go back over it." This is my copy of Objectivism, the Philosophy of Ayn Rand. I think I've showed it before, but it's absolutely falling apart. And it's funny to me when I look through it and see some of the initial notes I took from the first time I read it, because a lot of the stuff was just over my head. I didn't know it was over my head, but it was. I thought that he was wrong about some things that turned out, no, it was me. I was misunderstanding. I was misapplying. That's not to say that I don't have any disagreements with Leonard Peikoff or Ayn Rand. I do have some. But the point is that a lot of the time it was because I misunderstood. Yes, Mr. Deagle, spiral learning. Exactly. So it's important that, we know what we know. Like I remember I was talking to a rabbi one time and I told him, it amazes me when I learn how much I do not know. Still, and the rabbi told me, yes, but you should still give yourself credit for what you do know. And I think that is a proper course to take. Robert Naser with another $5. Robert, you're making me, well, no, I was going to say you're catching me up to Rosie Ginsburg, but that's not happening. But Robert does say, thanks for the compliments, but you must be the best since you beat Amy and I to the punch. She wanted for years to do a show on manners for Objectivists. I didn't do a show on manners, though. You could do a show on manners. That would be awesome if you did that. Oh, by the way, let me see if I can find this. Let me do this. This I think will make everybody laugh. This is actually a where is it? Oh, I think I took it down. No, I didn't take it down. Did I? No. Let me see. Is this it? No, that's definitely not what I wanted. Remove. Let me see if I can find this. This is going to make, if you don't laugh at this when I find it, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. No, that's not it. I must have deleted it. That sucks that I did that because that would have it would have been great. I'm going to be speaking at the Irreplaceable Spark, um, Rosie Ginsburg thing that he's doing next year, I think on October 18th, 17th through 19th. I wish I would have it. He said it, but I'm going to be speaking there and I can't wait to get there and do it. What do I think about the character of House? Oh, he's immoral. There's no doubt about that. Um, I enjoy House. I like the show. I think that there's a lot of a lot of good stuff in it. But in the final analysis, no, he's not good at all. Oh, I think yeah, that's what happened. So ethics refers to the principles that guide our behavior. Manners refer to social norms that dictate how we behave in social situations. And etiquette refers to a set of rules that govern behavior in formal settings. Can anybody have said it better? I don't know. I thought that was great from the great Greg Lewis. I've got some great listen. Let me just tell you guys, I don't know if people understand how fortunate we are to have in our audience people like Greg Lewis and Robert Naser. These are super, super, super smart people. So their comments are very much appreciated. Very, very, very much. To get back to the initial thing that we were talking about in regards to purpose and working and not devoting our lives to recreation. When I was in prison, I just remember reading this and reading all the time, so much, just reading, and people telling me that I shouldn't be doing that or, making fun of me for it or that sort of thing. And I'm so happy that I did devote all that time to studying, to learning, to rereading, to writing, to taking notes, because now I'm able to have conversations with very smart people. And that's so rewarding for me. It's something that I value, something that I enjoy. Danny Suska is upset that he wasn't included among the very smart people. Well, Danny, you're very successful. You are obviously smart in some ways. I'm talking about specifically in regard to the objectivist ethics, which is what we're here discussing, which I don't think you really know much about. Although Danny did watch Leonard Peikoff's lecture on the objectivist ethics, which I thought was just awesome that he did that. Lee Frazier is upset that she wasn't mentioned among the smart people. No, you weren't, Lee, but you are 20, I think 21 years old, maybe even younger, and you are one of the sweetest people that there is. You are super, super sweet. You are a very, very, very nice person. So, not everybody has everything, Danny Lee is 19 and Danny just follows to support me. Thank you. Appreciate the support. It's very, very good. I wanted to get into some other stuff, but we don't really have much time. Robert Naser says, I was 1,000 times smarter at 21 years of age. And he would have told us back then. I think I would have told you too. And, that's the thing. I get into debates online with some of these younger guys, and I forget how young they are. And I forget how cocksure I was when I was their age. So, I need to learn to be more patient about that. All right, so we're running out of time here. I've got to get ready. I've got a dinner with another set of friends tonight. I had dinner last night with old friends. Tonight I'm going to have dinner with old friends. That's a rewarding thing in and of itself. Again, thank you everybody for being here today. Really, really, really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the show on YouTube. Please share it, like it, do whatever you can. Let's grow this show. Let's do it together. I think we can learn a lot. I think we can accomplish a lot. We can all be more ethical people, and that's what it is all about. So thank you so much. Lee's birthday is on Saturday. So a happy birthday to Lee if we don't see you then. Diego's 5 minutes behind. Sorry to hear that. Everybody, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Stay ethical. Have a great night.